Oh, hi all, welcome back to the John Deere B tractor restoration. And in the last video we were talking about the counter shaft in the bottom of the gearbox and all its components. And if we go into here, there it is in all its glory, laid in there. Some nice feel to it, absolutely spot on. When I looked at the last video, I sort of maybe misled people really. You don't put it in as one whole lump. You've got to build it up. So you basically put the bearings in. You put that bearing in down here, the outer track. Slide the shaft in from that side, and as you're sliding it this way, you slide the gears on individually, and as you just get to the last bit, you put the roller bearing cone on the end of the shaft, and then you gently tap the shaft that way just to tap the bearing on and tighten everything up. And then on the outside you put the quill on with a couple of shims in just to keep it in the right plane, as it were. Come back around to this side and put that fancy nut on just to tighten the bearing onto the shaft and tighten all those gears onto it. And then all you're left with then on the outside of this side is the 6th gear sliding gear. And the final job, sorry I'm backwards and forwards across the top of the tractor here, the final job is to shim this up to get the correct end float on the shaft by using, there are metal shims in here, and then you just got to bulk that up with 1 or 2 paper shims. Again, it's one of those shafts which needs to be between 1 and 6/1000 of an inch end float. And again, I cheated. I measured all the shims and played around with it until I got to where I am now. And as I say, it's just a nice snug fit. And no, I'm well happy with that. I also mentioned that this gear here is always rotating if the engine's running. Well, of course, it's only rotating if the clutch is engaged and the tractor's the tractor's in neutral. But if the clutch is engaged and the tractor's in neutral, then that set of 2 fixed gears will always be revolving. The outer gear, that one, it is the gear that drives the PTO in the bottom. And then you've got your other 3 gears here, these 3, that one, and that one. They're your actual motion gears. This other gear here is your overdrive between the 2, or high and low gears. So yeah, so no, it's gone in there well. Happy with that. Just has a nice tight fitted feel to it. That little movement there is obviously what you get on the teeth. So on the bench, laid out on the bench, we've got the sliding gear shaft, this one, and the overdrive gear shaft here. Now I've just cleaned all these up using my usual method of soaking them overnight in petrol, blowing it off with the airline, and then wire brushing them off, and they've come up really well. That's the quill bearing. Well, it's more of a, it's actually, when you look at it, it's actually more of just a help with oil flow. When that's bolted to the side of the case, oil is well, it's not forced, it runs in through there, through these 2 little grooves, and that feeds the high map bearing that's on this shaft here. So So that's what that's about really. It doesn't really hold a bearing of any form. And it also helps with oil control because this screwed piece here fits inside that housing, and as I've said in the past, it helps to keep the gearbox oil in the gearbox, and on this side it helps to keep the engine oil in the engine oil compartment. Those gears again are in fairly good condition, so yeah, so we'll get them put in. And again with that shaft, it's like the bottom one. As I say, I do apologise, I've maybe misled. That video suggested the gear cluster just dropped in. Well, it doesn't. You've got to build them up inside the gearbox, and again that shaft there, you will have to build up in the gearbox. If I remember rightly, you put the bearing, the high mat bearing, as you can see, that one on the other side, that high mat bearing above the bottom set of gears, you put that one in first, put the overdrive in, and then slide the shaft in this way. I think I'll just have to refresh my memory. I say I've done 2 or 3 of these, but well, I've done 3 of these gearboxes, but not recently. I've done other things in between, as I say. So I'll just have to refresh my memory, but I think that's how it goes. And then as you're sliding the shaft in through the gearbox casing, you slide the gears on, and then you tighten it all up from one end. So yeah, that's what we're on with. So I shall get on and put that shaft in, and hopefully we'll have the top sliding shaft in. Okay then, so we're progressing. There's not much external work obviously going on, it's just all the internals at the moment. But yeah, it's getting there. Okay then, thank you very much. Bye.